Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and it sure looks like Tucker Carlson and Fox News knew exactly what they were doing with their Kanye West interview. New clips have leaked from that Tucker interview of clips they didn't want to air because, let's be honest, they make Kanye look even more crazy. And I want to show you what Tucker did before we even get to these cut clips to sort of set the tone for this interview with Kanye. Let's remind you.
But crazy? That was not our conclusion. In fact, we've rarely heard a man speak so honestly and so movingly about what he believes.
Okay, well, let's see what you guys think of these new clips that came in from Motherboard, which Vice is here sharing, which includes more bigoted anti-Semitic stuff, stereotypes, as well as just a bunch of other let's go through it all together, shall we? All right, first up, Kanye admits
every day
he was vaccinated.
We've been killing each other in the streets every day. One of the amazing things with Mayor Suarez is the murder rate has gone down. And yeah, I mean, you set that question up. You have more information about about what happened in the hospitals. So, in all honesty, I don't have the most facts, as many facts.
No, I mean in your life, like
so I might have
the
deflected.
COVID vaccine, the being stuck inside. Like, what did you think of all that?
I was vaccinated. It was interesting. A friend of mine told me that.
So they cut that out because Tucker's notoriously anti-vax, and they just didn't even want you to hear that he did that. It's almost like they're making sure that the Fox News base likes him, right? Then they get into something else here. They talk about Planned Parenthood. And this obviously gets even more, you'll see.
Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger, a known eugenics with the KKK to control the Jew population. When I say Jew, I mean the 12 lost tribes of Judah, the blood of Christ, who the people known as the race black really are. This is who our people are, the blood of Christ. This, as a Christian, is my belief. And I believe that if we saw ourselves as more Planned Parenthood.
There's a lot to unpack there. First of all, as Vice does confirm, yes, what's her name? The person he's talking about, Margaret Sanger, wasn't the best person. The group has since denounced and obviously changed that. Now, as they describe here, they do sort of a better job in trying to attempt to explain what he's saying. He's referring to the claim unsupported by historical evidence that black people are the real Jewish race, which is often used to promote anti-Semitism. The Southern Poverty Law Center has broader explanation on this particular tangled claim, which is often but not always associated with the Black Hebrew Israelites, a movement that originated in the 19th century. Some Black Hebrew Israelite sects believe that non-Black Jews are imposters or usurpers of the true Jewish identity. So yeah, it's just stuff's dangerous, man. And they cut it. They didn't just show you the full Kanye and where he's coming from. And when I hear this, I'm just like, whoa. What? So he is at war with the Jews because he believes that the what is he saying here? The race black really are the true Jews. So we're going to go have a battle as who's the real Jews? I mean, guys, this is anti-Semitism. It is. I don't know what else to tell you. And if you don't see that, even Fox News cut it. Even Fox News is like, yeah, take that part out about the black Jews. Let's not touch that. But he doesn't sound crazy. Okay, got it. Now let's hear him go off on this term trauma drunk.
Exactly what our culture is based on. Think about us judging each other on how white we could talk would be like, you know, a Jewish person judging another Jewish person on how good they danced or something. I mean, that's probably like a bad example when people are going to get mad at that shit. But another thing that they do that I probably want to edit that out in front of that like that. Okay.
Tucker said, done. Tucker's like, oh, we got you, man. If you say some stupid racist shit by accident, we got your back. Don't worry. We're here to promote our own political ideology, not do an honest interview with you. Done. Did you hear that? Done. Oh, cool. That racist thing you just said, and you're to his credit, he's like, that's not good. That's going to get me in trouble. Doesn't mean he didn't believe it. Didn't apologize for it. Just said, oh, I can't say that because I'll get in trouble. Okay, got it. And Tucker's like, done. We'll edit that out for you.
So, you know, I was talking to Ice Cube today, and we got really beat up in 2020 for saying we need to approach things a different way and not just be trauma drunk.
Right.
Which is a term that God just hit me with in the past couple of days. We are no longer trauma drunk.
He does this a lot. It's like he comes up with it and he just thinks he's just made like the next new Picasso. Like, whoa, yeah, that's a new term. I'm going to trademark it. That's mine. God gave it to me. I'm not that much of a genius. What is it? Okay, what is it?
We're no longer trauma drunk, and we're no longer trauma bonding, and we're no longer woke in the sense of what woke is, because woke is just complaining about racism, but not doing anything about it. So what we're gonna do about it is say, hey, you know what? Y'all not gonna send nobody at me based on my opinion. You asked the question before. It drove me crazy to not be able to say that I like Trump.
Now that's what they grabbed. Out of all of that, surprise, surprise, Fox News and Tucker Carlson took he wasn't allowed to like Trump. All the other stuff is just like, what's going on, dude? Are you okay? Like, I'm not trying to make fun of this guy. This guy's in a bout of mania. It's so clear. There's a lot of experts out there who are breaking this down. They all feel we're worried about this guy. I'm not here to dunk on him further, but guys, this is, even Fox News saw all this, and Tucker's out there saying, what's Tucker saying about all this?
But crazy? That was not our conclusion. In fact, we've rarely heard a man speak so honestly and so movingly about what he believes.
And you're going to edit all his racist stuff out. Cool. Got it. Let's see what else he says.
I was biting my tongue on my political opinion because I thought it would be better for my children. And now you look up, and my kids are going to a school that teaches black kids a complicated Kwanzaa. I prefer my kids knew Hanukkah than Kwanzaa. At least it will come with some financial engineering. Kwanzaa doesn't, so they don't teach even Christmas itself, Christ Mass. I was biting.
What? Financial engineering? What does that mean? The stereotype that Jews are rich? Is that what you're trying to do here? I mean, this stuff's not okay. We shouldn't be talking about the Jewish people the way he's talking about it. You wouldn't talk. This isn't like, I don't understand why we don't see this as problematic. This is problematic. He's enabling really offensive stereotypes, which if we were doing that about the black lives, I'm sure he'd be annoyed by. But he can just do it with Jewish people because he's the real black Jews. I don't even understand what the hell he's saying. And what's so frustrating is even Candace Owens has no idea what she's saying. She did this whole speech trying to justify his anti-Semitism. And she even says it in it like
hates or wants to genocide Jewish people. This does not represent the beginning of the Holocaust. That's if you're an honest person, you'll meet that. You will admit that. Right? If you're an honest person, when you read this tweet, you had no idea what the hell he was talking about.
Thank you. Thank you for finally being a voice of reason, Candace Owens, and admitting we have no idea what he's talking about. More often than not, we have no idea what Kanye's talking about. And that's what's so frustrating. So many of you guys out there just lift him up like he's this messiah because I don't know why. He's made some great music. He has said some really interesting things. He has pushed boundaries in ways. I do feel like the man has genius in him. I really do. I think a lot of us all do. He's able to express himself a lot of times in very smart ways. But right now, guys, this is problematic. This is troubling. This is disturbing. And it just keeps going. He does a whole rant here on Virgil. Virgil was a really close friend of his who they had a fashion designer. And and he died of cancer. And even after death, Kanye's like jealous.
At the end of the day,
beefing with this poor guy, trying to like disparage him even after the grave. I can't play this whole clip. It's 7 minutes long. I'm going to link in the description because
we all know we have to answer to God. Now, some of us in desperate times may grab a little bit too much of the Hennessy. I'll be specific. Arno, shout out. Thank you for making the Hennessy. It's delicious. That's an LVMH company. I'm kind of very much so in beefing with them right now because they killed my best friend, Virgil.
How did they kill Virgil?
Tucker's like, what?
First of all,
I wish we had a reverse of Tucker's face during half of the stuff that you're hearing Kanye say.
Hired him. Well, do you want the, I'm gonna try to like give you the abbreviated story.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
The abbreviated version is a
Virgil was
7-minute
hired as my assistant.
rambling, cohesive.
And he ended up becoming one of my best friends because we traveled everywhere. We traveled to Japan. We interned in Italy at Fendi because we weren't accepted in Paris. And we started to gain momentum in the design world. And then Virgil did his own line called Off-White. And then I stopped doing the Kanye West line. I started doing the Yeezy line. And I did a licensing deal. I had a licensing deal with Adidas. I mean, we still have that deal. And we did this fashion show that was
This is the abbreviated
it was
version.
like the most seen fashion show in history. So Bernardo No, the head of LVMH, asked to meet with me. And he offered me a deal. But with the deal, they had to have ownership because they're colonizers. They're not there to just, hey, we're going to give you support and, you do the best thing you can. All these people, a lot of the VCs and a lot of these kind of companies, they have to have ownership. And Louis Vuitton have presented themselves in such a way, they have so much real estate where a black man's dream come true would be to have that level of support from a company, because then we can go back into the neighborhood in our pink Cadillac, metaphorically.
Yeah.
The pink Cadillac was literally invented for that. Google that on Huntsville. We don't have enough time to talk about it right here.
So again, this is the abbreviated version that we're talking about. He goes on and explains in this thing that that they were responsible for his death. Virgil was actually the third person to die of cancer in that organization. So not just black men have passed in that organization, but the third person to die of cancer that was in a higher up position in that organization. And with Paris is a different level of elitism and racism. And Virgil was the kind of guy that he didn't hold it in. And I believe it ate him up from inside. The level of racism, elitism, and pressure that he was under, I'm sure affected his health. So that's how he's accusing them of murdering his friend. And then he goes off and does this bizarre tangent about free kinetic energy communities.
Anymore.
I'll talk to him if I see him.
Yep.
But I guarantee you he see me. And I have visions that God gives me just over and over on community building and how to build these free energy, fully kinetic energy communities where we put the least impression on the earth. We're not building the new New York skyline cockfight, that we are humble in the way that we present ourselves. We've got to rethink who we are as a species.
Anymore.
Okay.
But crazy? That was not our conclusion. In fact, we've rarely heard a man speak so honestly and so movingly about what he believes.
I mean, I guess the second part's true. He's definitely sharing what he believes, but I think they're not being fully honest here. This is definitely, apparently there's more, et cetera, but those are the clips that Mothership has shared. But guys, look, I'm not here to condemn the guy. I mean, I'm going to condemn his anti-Semitism. That's not allowed. It's not okay. And a lot of people have issues with him in the White Lives Matter shirt. And I understand it's a much more complicated debate. It's a much more complicated because it depends how you, in the context of things, I understand both sides. My opinion on it doesn't really matter. I don't love some of the things I hear of people who support that, because all lives obviously matter. That's what's so stupid about the whole debate. No one's saying otherwise. But then there are some people in the Black Lives Matter organization that take it too extreme. And then there's many people in the White Lives Matter organization that really are racist. The reality is, all good people know that all lives matter. Of course, all lives matter. They do. And so I understand why there's just a divisive hatefulness. But what's just frustrating is like that's what Fox News really cared about. I don't believe Tucker Carlson cared about any of this except for the fact that he voted for Trump and he was supporting White Lives Matter because that's what Fox News and the base really wants to embrace. And I'm seeing a lot of the comments that come in. That's what got you guys most angry. I'm not here to argue about that one. I don't even want to argue. A lot of people will. A lot of people get mad. That's not even my issue. That's not what I'm trying to fight about. I'm fighting about what clearly was anti-Semitism that even Fox News had to admit, yeah, that's disturbing. Even they had to come forward and admit it. So I don't know what we're even arguing about. And the fact to see this reality that Fox knew well and good that this man wasn't making sense. Even Candace Owen is out there admitting this man doesn't make, what does that mean? Why do we keep enabling this? I don't get it. This guy needs help. And everybody out there making that comparison that well, you don't think Britney needs help? Yeah, she does need help. She just went through trauma being locked in her own house against her will for 13 years by her family, who locked her in her own house against her will and forced her to work and never live and enjoy the prosperities of her life. They kept her as a prisoner and made all the money off of her. And then even worse, her own management, her father was secretly recording her in her bedroom and checking all of her text messages. The woman had no freedom. And so now she's out posing naked, which Kim Kardashian does, everybody does, but now Britney's the crazy one. It makes me so mad that you guys just ignore all the trauma that she's been through and just expect her to be good right now. She's been through a lot and she is going through her own therapy. She's dealing with it the way she needs to. She now gets to make her own choices. She will mess up. Good for her. She's not making anti-Semitic remarks. She's not out there with this mania like this that I don't understand. I don't understand. They're separate things. We got to stop comparing them and stop ignoring Britney's trauma. Britney needs her own things, but she deserved freedom. That's what we were fighting for. Kanye is out there spouting anti-Semitic rhetoric. And I think it's getting scarier and more dangerous. Something needs to be done because yes, there's freedom of speech, but there's consequence for the words you choose. And Candace Owens can go out there and spin it all she wants to try and justify what was clearly anti-Semitism. But even she's going to admit it doesn't even make sense. Something needs to be done. So yeah, I look, I hope the best for Kanye. I want him to make great music. Go ahead, do his fashion. I know he's got his supporters, but your supporters, you got to stop enabling this mania. It's getting scary. And some of the stuff he's saying isn't acceptable. And we as a society should all be able to stop fighting for a second to agree that we shouldn't be wishing DEFCON 3 to any people. It's just not the way. And he should correct it, apologize, so we can all attempt to move on and keep doing our things. That's my 2 cents, but what do you think? If you like what I think, why don't you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for all alerts, smash that like button, and leave a comment down below. Do these comments make sense to you? Do you think I'm being crazy? I'd love to hear your take. And we'll also be live later today to discuss so much more news out there. So I look forward to seeing you. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. Look forward to seeing you again.